Hi ducks, I hope you're having a nice autumn. I don't know what my bangs are doing. This isn't my room. This is Sam's room because I don't want to disturb my roommate. I'm a college student now, which means that the only things I ever think about are reading and eating.
I think you're using a pen to stir your tea.
So I thought it'd be neat to do more book reviews with snacks, and voila! Welcome to Eat and Read. This month I am munching on Universal Yum's October box. This is a very nice service. They send you a box of snacks from a different country each month, and it comes with a little info packet. The tamarind candies were a little sweet for me. I really like the coffee drops. The garlic toast was a delight, and right now I am sipping some Thai tea and green tea Pocky, so I am having a wonderful afternoon. And I'm saving these precious chocolate coconut chips for movie night. So I have a link in the description where you can get your own box of Universal Yums, universalyums.com/victuals. It's a cool service. It's like $14 a month for 6 or more snacks, and then $25 for 12 or more snacks. I think it's a great thing for hungry college students. It's a nice gift. Next month's theme is Russia, judging from the vodka references on the back of this, so that would be fun. Now let's get to reading. I'm taking a neuroscience course right now, and I want to apologize to all my friends because the only thing that I've been capable of saying for the last 6 weeks is, brains are so weird! When I take classes, I like consuming the information in as many forms as possible, so I'm not just reading the textbook, because that can get a little boring. I'm also watching documentaries and listening to podcasts and reading fun books like this. This is Pain, The Science and Culture of Why We Hurt by Marni Jackson as a self-induced supplement for some sneaky learning. It's organized via types of pain, from headaches to broken bones, and each chapter goes into the specific history and literature of why we hurt, as well as the chemistry behind it. The tone is very conversational, which I normally dislike in research books, but given that the topic is so painful, Jackson's narration is actually very comforting. That tone creates some really great bits of prose, and it's still really informative regardless. Like, she covers Descartes, and she has all these interviews with doctors and healthcare professionals and patients. There's like 2 case studies per chapter. It's great. I recommend reading this if you are interested in that realm of psychobiology. Next up, I mentioned I was reading this in my summer books video, but I finished Cavalier and Clay when I got back to the States. I had to go to New York for a couple days, and I brought it with me. I think that it's the perfect book to bring on a plane because it's like 600 pages, so you won't need to bring any other book on your trip, and it also makes you feel so human. It felt like my brain was being lovingly massaged the whole time that I was reading it. I didn't know the plot of the book when I first started reading it, which is usually what happens to me in Michael Chabon books, but all I will say is that it's about 2 cousins in New York during the 1940s and the comic book industry. I'm about to get very Hebraic for a sec, so bear with me. There's this concept called Jewish reading, which is where you don't just read the book, you let the book affect you, and you affect the book, so you're not just reading it silently and sitting still, you're laughing and crying and yelling at the book and arguing with the book, and like you have to take a break and walk around, you're shaking back and forth in public as you read the book, and that is very much the experience that you have when you read Cavalier and Clay. I don't have my copy because I lent it to my friend Eden, who has been texting me their reactions as they've been reading it. I'm a great friend. Here, read this book. It will destroy you. My favorite books always have a really deep history in them, like in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn and 100 Years of Solitude. There's these massive family trees, happy or not so happy, depending on which book you're talking about, but massive family trees with just like these stories that branch off and go in a million different directions, and that's also the case with Cavalier and Clay. Chabon writes these fantastic run-on sentences that just go for a full page down, and the phrasing and the diction, it's all just so comforting. My favorite aspect of the book, though, is the super intense descriptions. Like, Chabon has a very specific image for every single movement in the book, and he describes it so specifically that he wants you to see that image exactly as he wants you to see it, and that image is always beautiful. Oh my god, the way that he writes about love, Gott in Himmel. I need more people to talk about this book with, so if you've read it before, tell me what your favorite part of it was, and tell me what Regina Spektor song reminds you of the relationships in the book. I might have made a mixtape. So we've had nonfiction, fiction, and now some poetry. I had the chance to see Hanif willis-abdurraquib at Button Poetry Live in Los Angeles. This is his book, The Crown Ain't Worth Much. He actually submitted this to Button Poetry's chapbook contest. It didn't win, but they wanted to publish it anyway, which is so inspiring. The poems are mostly about his childhood and adolescence and the objects and media that permeated them. Like, there's a series of poems in here titled after different kinds of sneakers, and it is just so good and haunting. Sometimes when I see people use a lot of song references in their poems, it's just to kind of get a reaction from the audience as I've seen it. Like, I'll just be talking about something random and then like, what's a pop star? Who's a pop star? Shakira. And then I'll be like, talking about something random, Shakira, and then everyone's like, "Whoa!" But he really engages with the lyrics and musicians that he wants to incorporate into his own original work. There's a poem in here, Ode to Kanye West, in 2 parts, ending in a chain of mothers rising from the river, and it is such an amazing piece of literature, and you can actually see his performance of it, his reading of it, on the Button Poetry channel. Link in the description. I used this poem as I put it on the syllabus for the writing course that I taught over the summer because it is so good. So watch his reading of it, and if you like that, then please buy this book and support him and follow him on Twitter because he's really nice. He's a great guy. Alright, I am almost out of tea, so today's fact is that people in Iceland read the most per capita, more than the rest of us, so bless them. That's all for me. I have to go buy a hairdryer. Later, nerds! First day of class, my professor walks into the lecture hall with a big bucket. At the end of the lecture, he puts the bucket on his desk and just starts pulling out real human brains, and I held a couple of them and I feel irrevocably changed as a person.